White control. This archetype got a ton of upgrades in Theros, and this build is no exception to that. We've got 4 Birth here, we've got 4 Shatter, we've got 4 Conqueror's Death, we've got 3 Dream Trawlers. We got some Archons of Sun's Grace here in the sideboard as additional threats. Got a Whirlwind Denial for those occasional Hydroid Crises that are still lurking around. I do think it's a little bit interesting that this build has chosen to eschew playing Thassa's Intervention. That's a card that I've been kind of impressed with. It wouldn't surprise me if Intervention's perhaps better than Chemister's Insight, but this having Jumpstart is meaningful in some spots. So we're going to start card for card with this deck list. It was in, I believe this one, it was a SCG Classic tournament, which usually have 8+ rounds. So let's dive on into some matches with this and see how it goes. Just barely outside the top 1200 at the moment. We're 600 something yesterday and then punted a number of games to end the stream. With the 4-color Enigmatic deck. Opponent. I think it's on them. The nervous part of me wants to restart the client just to be sure, because neither of us have timeouts at the moment. So like in the event we are disconnected, we really don't get a lot of warning. I'm gonna restart my client really quick, just in case. Their clock running down does not mean you're not disconnected. Arena does not give you any indication that you're disconnected. That I'm aware of. I don't know if they came back or if we were disconnected, but here we go. That's fine. My client restarts quickly. M.2 drives are busted. That's just like. I like this current standard format a good deal, but it does have a lot of decks that I would define as like combo decks in it. That playing with and against those is not quite your cup of tea. I could see it not being great for you. I think we just time Raveler, pick up Omen here, right? In the event they're playing something like Thief of Sanity, I get to Glass Casket them. If they don't play a threat out, I get to go tapped land, hold up Absorb here. Looks like Esper. On the bottom Omen for now. I don't really need another one of those. Just looking for like a Dream Trawler at this point, right? Let's just win the game. Definitely don't want a Shatter in this matchup. Definitely want a Veto in this matchup.
I've got time.
Awkward that my castle is still tapped. I think I just play Temple here since I can't activate my castle anyways. No, it's impossible to know what adding something like that to the client would take up in terms of resources. Greatness at any cost, chat. At any cost. You want me to stop drawing cards? You will keep my cards drawn from over my cold dead body.
I've got it.
I think I'm just playing this and planning to activate my castle this turn. Just start pressuring them since they decided to take 8 to draw a card. I think I'm supposed to counter this just because Teferi's about to draw me 2 cards, and Teferi staying in play locks them out of drawing, or locks them out of their counter spells, so it's like virtual card advantage too, which is nice. I'm gonna kill their castle just in case their hand gets empty and they could use it later.
Don't worry. I got it.
We are running low on meaningful cards here, he says before his opponent concedes to Teferi. Alright, extra threats sound great here. Dispute sounds wonderful. Veto, Denial. I'm going to cut Birth. I'm going to cut Casket. I'm going to cut Shatter the Sky. Am I cutting Shatter the Sky? I actually probably want to keep 2 to 3 of these because they're going to have Dream Trawlers, right? I think 3 of these is probably the sweet spot. Taking their Dream Trawler away seems incredibly important. Just counter the Trawler. I mean, we only have 5 ways to do that, right? So, unlike their deck where they have discard spells to preempt this card, we don't have that luxury. Need 1 trim here. Maybe I don't want all these Sun's Grace. I am trimming, like, my births. I'm just gonna play one of those. Yeah. Alright, I'm excited for them to play Teferi on 3, rendering these absorbs useless. Would really love to find a Dovin's Veto by turn 2, so that way we can veto a Teferi. But I think this hand's definitely keepable. I'm going to play this untapped land so we can bluff Veto here, so maybe they don't just jam their Teferi willy-nilly. They think twice before jamming it. For reference, I think in this situation, if you're my opponent and you have Teferi, you should always jam the Teferi. Once you let me get to the third. They left Oath of Kai in their deck. Okay, that's interesting. I suppose Oath of Kaya takes Narset off the table, and it kills my Teferi. Yeah, Oath's probably fine. It's like Lightning Helix, right? Seems reasonable. I'm going to shock this in because I would like to absorb and dispute here just in case they try and force something through a counterspell. Opponent, not deterred from their loss last game, pays 6 to draw a card this game. 6 is notably less than 8. For those of you counting at home. You're surprised we bottom castle? Yeah, I felt like in this situation, this castle would definitely be really good. I felt like I had an obligation to give myself the best chance to hit Dovin's Veto. Just because I felt like them sticking Teferi caused me to lose the game guaranteed. It might be right to just jam the Omen since I likely can't dispute anything anyways. Yeah, it's very possible I was just supposed to jam this last turn to hit my land drop. Do I keep Time Raveler? I feel like I do. I feel like I do.
Let's slow this down. No, I am not making this up as I go.
So I could just stick Conqueror's Death here, but I kind of think it's important to hit a land drop. Is it crazy to, like, Teferi pick this up in an attempt to hit a land drop? I feel like that's not nuts. Because, like, with this in play, this is likely to resolve next turn, right? Famous last words.
I'm known for my excellent time. Let's try this.
Have to untap with this. Do they have another Oath of Kaya? If they have another Oath and they have some counter spells, probably dead. They shocked in that land. Oh, they have a Conqueror's Death of their own, sure.
If you wish to surrender now, put thoughtfulness before action.
Yeah, we've now gone full Hearthstone. Do I Conqueror's Death their Conqueror's Death or their Narset? Could go either way. The upside to Conqueror's Deathing their Conqueror's Death is that it means that they don't tax all my spells 2 extra next turn. Conqueror's Deathing the Narset means they don't get to draw a card, but they have this Teferi in their hand, so this Teferi could reset their Conqueror's Death. I think I'm supposed to death their death. Yeah, the fact that they have Teferi in their hand makes taking their enchantment out better.
Meditate and prepare.
Yeah, we're basically just like fighting for Conqueror's Death dominance, right? They are, in fact, a Doom Foretold deck.
Here goes nothing.
Oh, they have an Narset in play. Sure. I knew that. The no with the broken heart is so good. That's great.
I know my responsibility.
Even Oath of Kaya's reward? Yep.
The hero thing.
Those who cannot perceive beyond the veil of reality. I have just the trick for this.
What, pure misery? That being said, we're playing blue-white control, so like, I can't really complain that my opponent's on pure misery too much, because we are too. Okay, the fact that they're on Doom Foretold, we didn't really get that information from game 1. I'm going to cut the Shatters, because they're less likely to have Trawler. I'm going to bring in my extra Sun's Grace and my Banishing Lights here. How much longer can we expect until the green-white Henge deck? Probably another hour and a half. We just getting started with this one. This is great. Sideboard what? Ruinous Blast. No, I don't think that card's very good. What problem do you think exists for my deck that gets solved by playing that card? So 2 more matches. We might only play 2 or 3 matches with this deck. That's true too. It is not standard legal. Accurate. Omen of the sea. Omen of the sea. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Want to get my Teferi down and draw a card with him before they could potentially Narset me here. I'm having the strangest sense of deja vu, chat. Hey, Punk Count. 44 months is a long time indeed. Thanks for keeping me around. I think I actually want to just play these this turn to get draws in with them to not only hit land drops, but also just before they could potentially get a Narset down. Because, like, my Narsets will draw cards under their Narsets. Whereas, like, Seordains become pretty useless.
Let's try this.
Now, you could argue there's merit to playing Narset last turn because I know they have Seordain back in their hand from Teferi bouncing it. I could see that as an argument.
Keep an open mind.
Well, that's a very, very useful reactive card.
Here goes nothing. Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
Hone your prowess.
Hey, what's going on, Bob? We're in game 3 of the first match here. Playing against Esper Doom to start. Having a bunch of Omen of the Season play is actually quite good in this matchup. What if instead we didn't do that? I think I want to hit my land drop next turn. Is it crazy to bin Narset here? What do we think of binning Narset? Well, I have Dream Trawler to attack their Teferi, chat. So like I can pressure their planeswalkers. If we draw an untapped land, we can Conquer's Death their Conquer's Death here. Yo, dog. I think that's the plan. And then I think I'm actually Conquer's Deathing their one that's ready to pop. To keep them from Teferiing us. Makes my stuff more expensive again next term. That's like not a big deal. And then I can actually discard this Trawler to this Trawler later to get it back with Conquer's Death. How's Denial felt? It's been fine. We haven't cast it yet. It's our first match. Deal.
I have a plan.
In a world where there's more Hydrate crates, this Whirlwind Denial seems fine. In general, it's just like a 5th cancel out of the sideboard. Dumpstering Esper with this Dream Trawler is very satisfying. Just, tasty. Yeah, I'm not killing their Teferi because they have Conqueror's Death popping off next turn. Now, what do I want to do here? I can't hold up a counterspell anyways. Do I just like, is it crazy to just go like tapped land, plan to activate castle? I think that's the line. I think that's the line. Under the sea, do 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 do. Have to discard the hand size, so unlucky.
You show remorse, I'll show restraint.
Well, this is counter unless they pay 4, so they just pay 4. I agree, Bob. There's a reason why decks like this are popular. Well, you can't play too many Dooms this turn. Yeah, I think jamming the second Dream Trawler is bad because it gives them the out of a sweeper to kill us. Yeah, just actual. Alright. Excellent. Good. Ip, cheerio. Look at that, chat. We played a control mirror in 22 minutes. I would like to thank that opponent for playing very quickly, huh? There's exciting new offers every day. Alright, we're gonna use this one at some point. 7 dwarves. Never gonna use that one. Didn't we just play standard? Alright. It's like, Yeah, so the Gitrog bug, Gitrog monster is only playable in historic best of one currently. It was not, we were unable to play Gitrog monster this morning because it would not let us join the best of 3 historic event with Gitrog monster in our deck. But it was playable in best of 1. We don't play best of 1 here. We're gonna wait for them to fix their crap and then play it in best of 3. Dear Watsy, please fix your stuff. Yeah, I guess we tap out for this one this turn, so that way moving forward we can hold up, absorb, slash Omen of the Sea. We got another control mirror here. Excellent. Yeah, so they're pretty frequently adding Brawl commanders to Magic Arena, and Gitrog Monster is the latest one they added. They also added Talrand last month, I believe. And all of the Brawl commanders that they add are legal and historic. Don't know about you, chat, but I'm feeling 22. Well, Gitrog largely combos in EDH with Dredge cards, right? Like Life from the Loam. Gitrog's just a sweet monster. Extra month of quality software. Thanks for the 9 months, Corvax. Looking for counter spells, planeswalkers, and conqueror's deaths here. I think I just passed here. Took a break for Magic. Time to come back since Control's back on the menu. Control's very good right now. Friendly Tryhard, thanks for the 20 months. Welcome back. I wonder if we'll see any of the Control mirrors or Control versus Teamer Rec come down to the clock this weekend at Worlds. These matches seem like they have the ability to run really long. I think I'd agree with that, Bob. Blue-white Control is probably the best it's been since Sphinx's Revelation was legal. Well, I was looking for a Veto, but I don't think I can bottom absorb in this matchup. I'd assume they would just let the in-game timer time people out. Huh? How many trawlers is too many, chat? I feel like the answer is there's no such thing as too many trawlers in this matchup. Rawr. Yeah, I'd believe that, Brad. Trawler seems relatively useful too. Trawler's a good way to take planeswalkers off the table in a consistent manner. Yeah, there's three white castles in this build. Harold and Kumarno, what's up? Oh, I actually have to discard here, huh? That's awkward. maybe I'm supposed to jam something there. I don't know. That's the context of my hand, opponent. I don't know. I feel like we're winning, right? Like, is it crazy to say we're winning? I looked it up, and to see if it's on fire is not blue-white control, so that should be good in regards to timeouts. Yeah. Excuse me? Excuse me? Is their hand just like all... This is game one. Their hand could be a bunch of sweepers and removal spells. Thanks for the year of tutelage. You helped me become a better player and political discourser. Thanks for the entire year of support. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. Maybe I should have jammed Tef there, actually. Yeah, I think I probably should have jammed Tef that turn since I drew the land. Yeah. Yeah.
Stand by and watch. That's more like it.
It's really unfortunate that we had to discard a trawler in an Narset. Sure. temples have shifted the power balance away from aggro toward. I disagree with that assessment. I think a big part of why aggro is kind of medium right now and why the only aggressively slanted decks are pseudo combo decks featuring Embercleave is there's a lot of just incidental life gain in this format. Between things like Oath of Kaya and Birth and Uro, just things, decks that like normally would have to spend effort to be good against aggro are just incidentally very good against aggro without trying. Yeah, cat oven. Think I just let that happen. Like the Teferi like isn't worth a ton because like their Dream Trawler just kills it, which is a big deal. Even with this trigger coming up, I can still veto something this turn. They have a second Dream Trawler. They're going to get back out of their bin here, though, which is a little scary. Although I suppose I have a second I can play from my hand. If we draw Conqueror's Death next turn, we actually have enough mana that we can play Conqueror's Death and veto something through this extra cost. Because we have 10 mana right now, and that's 11. What if I let this happen and then just like cast another Dream Trawler next turn? I feel like that's the line. They already have a Trawler in their bin. So this is their second Trawler, so they're getting a Trawler back out of this regardless. If they didn't have a Trawler in their bin already, I think I'd counter this, so their Conqueror's Death didn't get value. But because there's already a Trawler in their bin, I think I just let that happen. You like using Omen? I don't think I really want to jam Conqueror's Death next turn, just because if I jam Conqueror's Death, they could have a veto, and then I end up in a poor spot. What deck do we play to hit Mythic? 4-color Enigmatic. Deck is total gas. This Birth is gonna get discarded to this Chemister's Insight. If you haven't watched the 4-color deck, I believe it was the deck of the day on Wednesday. I added it as a deck page on my website. Deck's real sweet. Maybe I'm supposed to hold this Chemister's Insight so my Dream Trawler can attack into theirs. That could be a real thing we want to do.
for action.
I think I'm just gonna shatter here. Esper or Blue-White is stronger, I don't know. The number of games you have to play to know the answer to a question like that is really high. I will say that a bunch of the best players in the world all got together and they're all playing Blue-White control. So that's fairly telling, I think. I'm gonna play an untapped land tier so that way I can activate my castle or absorb plus veto. Oh, I should have played the field. If I field, I can't hold both of these up, which is relevant. Because, like, if they have a Conqueror's Death, they're going to want to play it here. Yeah, I think holding up 2 counters is important here. I do eventually want to field their castle, though. You're right. How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? I'm leaning on the vetoes, even though I have absorbs here, because I need to not make sure this doesn't resolve. Okie doke. These are easy cuts. How many shatters do we want in the mirror? That's a question that, like, you need to test a lot to know the answer to. Do you know why it felt like an old school control mirror match, Bob? Because neither of us had this turret on the table for any extended amount of time. That this card just removes so much of the interesting play and counterplay from these control mirrors. It's really unfortunate. You want to get rid of an absorb? No, I think all of my cancels are important to keep in here. You know they suck when Teferi's out, but our whole deck sucks when Teferi's out, so let's just, like, try and make sure Teferi doesn't stay out. What's the TEF countdown at? That's a good question. Does this thing still work? Do I have it? Where'd it go? 32 weeks, 6 days, 10 hours, 11 minutes, and 15 seconds till 3 minutes after it rotates out, chat. Not that we're counting. Not that anybody here is counting. $32 weeks, right? 32? 32 weeks. How long until Corset Teferi brings it? Hopefully, when we had Chandra Corset, we didn't have any Chandra reprints. So hopefully Teferi Corset won't bring any Teferi reprints. Less than a pregnancy, yep. I'm excited to veto their Teferi and then untap and play our own. I did not, Beansy. That's true. All the Chandras in the Chandra core set were very reasonable. Maybe we'll get a bunch of reasonable Teferi Planeswalker cards, and people can stop despising his character because of the types of cards they print around him. That would be a nice change of pace, huh? No, Teferi core set comes out this summer. Rotation doesn't happen until the fall. Rotation is every October. Maybe Watsy won't mess it up. Please, Watsy. Please, Watsy. Is your new kid gonna be born into a world where 3 free isn't standard? They are. Christie's due like mid-June. And like, our first 2 kids were like 2 weeks early. It's probably like late May, early June we're expecting her. That's actually an incredibly good draw. We were talking about this card versus Thassa's Intervention. This card's probably a lot better than Intervention in the Mirror. The only impact it should have on this being my job, Bob, is that Christy and the new baby will be making probably semi-frequent stream cameos throughout the 16 weeks following her birth. But as long as this pays me like a job, I plan to treat it like one. So Christy gets 16 weeks of maternity leave with her job. She has very reasonable benefits for living in the United States, so she's gonna take that, and then we're gonna do daycare. Yeah, 16 weeks. Which for those who live outside of the United States, 16 weeks is generous to the point that it's almost unheard of here. And whenever this comes up, you frequently learn where people live, because people outside of the United States are like 16 weeks, that's criminal, and people who live in the United States are like, wow, you get 16 weeks? Thanks for the 10 months, Hybrid. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Exactly how long I take off when the baby's born is going to depend on what Christy's recovery rate is like. Because like when kids are born, like they don't really do much. They're just kind of blobs that roll around. So like if Christy's healed and everything goes normal with that, I probably won't take that much time off. I'm kind of a blob that rolls around. Are you calling me a baby? Call that the lump stage. Yeah, there are a lot. I've enjoyed hanging out with my kids a lot more the older they've gotten. Like when they can actually like do stuff. A big fan of them able to do stuff. So if I Chemister's Insight here, I'd have to discard to hand size. So I'm actually just gonna scry because I just want to hit land drops at this point. And so all I want to do is hit every land drop for the rest of the game. My hand is very good. Just want to make sure we don't miss a land drop for now. Who do you submit your time off request forms to? So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do this and then do this. And if they counter this, I'm not going to fight over it. And the reason why I'm doing this is I want to draw this Absorb, but if I draw this Absorb without casting a spell, I have to discard to hand size. The way I lose this game is if they have double Teferi here. Although if they have double Teferi here, Conqueror's Death might get me out of it. This is why I don't fight over it. Because one, they likely have a second counter spell that could counter my Dream Trawler. And two, I have Conqueror's Death. And three, I don't want my hand getting shut off by this card. This is the single most important card in the mirror, I think, and all your decisions should revolve around making sure this card stays off the table. And Handbammer, thanks for the entire year of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And now we continue to play the waiting game. So again, the only reason I blinked there was because there was a card I wanted to draw on top of my deck, number 1, and 2, I didn't want to discard the hand size to keep it. This might be greedy. I'm gonna ditch the Shatter. Maybe I'm supposed to discard the Whirlwind Denial, although I feel like this is probably still gonna be useful. Rewarded for bidding the Shatter. This one I might fight over if they use a non-veto counterspell. Yeah, Chrissy's job gives her 12 weeks paid, Bob, and then she can take an additional 4 unpaid. We're thankfully in a position that we can afford that, so we're just gonna let her take the max when baby comes. Whirlwind Denial while they're low on mana. Yeah, I think you're right. I should have used Whirlwind Denial. Would have played around something like this. Yeah, you're right. I made a mistake. I should have Whirlwind Denialed when I absorbed, because then I could have absorbed this. Yeah, outside of that mistake, I feel like I played this game well, used my resources well. That was a slip up though. Definitely should have Whirlwind Denialed when I absorbed. I'm gonna play a land here, so that way they can't Mystic Dispute me. They don't have a Shatter here. We're heading a big way. Sweet. That was a genuinely good game of Magic. And again, like, I feel like that game was only good because, like, Teferi didn't show his ugly head, really, right? Like, by the time we stuck at Teferi, the opponent had burned through a lot of their counterspells already. I'm not allowed to keep this in the dark, right? Like, they're rank 4. They could be playing an aggro deck. Can I get the 7 back? Do you think if I asked really nicely, they'd give me a do-over and I could have my 7 back? Hey, thanks for the 20 months, Fred the Third. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. Teamer wreck, probably. Mods cannot time out other mods. I am the only one that can time out mods. And fair warning, if you're a mod and I time you out, expect the other mods to beat you up when you get back. Mod timeouts aren't like 10 minutes. Usually they're somewhere between like 10 and 30 minutes, depending on when I realize there's a mod being attacked by the other mods. You've been warned. The self timeout doesn't work because the bot's only a mod. think I just jam Narset here. I really love the soundtrack on this game board. The fact that the music changes board to board is so very good too. Okay, there's the reclamation. Yep. I think we just do this and bounce the reclamation, right?
Let's slow this.
I should have waited to play my land so I could draw a temple.
Bad idea.
It didn't matter. Poor Teferi. Do this and dig for a veto.
Mind and body meditate and prepare.
Well, not the veto we're looking for, but it'll do in a pinch. The correct play is a plus Teferi so they don't kill it. I don't know about that. They could have a large expansion explosion to kill it still. They have a good number of lands. Is it too aggressive to just YOLO a Dream Trawler here? Like, playing the Narset doesn't really accomplish anything because they have Brazen Borrower. I think I'm supposed to YOLO the Dream Trawler here. Like, if the Dream Trawler comes in and sticks, like, then you take over the game very quickly, right? Just had a thought, and I wanted to see what your thoughts were. The increase in combo decks in this combo window is exacerbated by the new Mulligan rule. Nah, it's designs. I think anybody blaming things on the London Mulligan rule is nonsense. I think, by and large, the cards do what they do because of what the cards are designed to do. Seth, is that you? Yeah, right. The London Mulligan doesn't create problems, it just highlights problems that are already there. In my opinion, in my decade and a half of playing Magic, the London Mulligan is the best change they've ever introduced to the game. It is very, very good. I think I'm just supposed to pass here. If I jam Conqueror's Death, I only have 7 mana, which means I can't hold up Absorb, so I think I just pass. Because I can Omen, crack Omen, or I can, like, Omen... I can Omen, cast Veto, cast Absorb. Seth is Saffron Olive's name. Saffron Olive's been a big proponent of pushing the idea that the London Mulligan is to blame for aggro and combo. I think playing the Narset's just not very good because they have Brazen Borrower. Maybe just Impulse Gain 3 is fine, but I think I'd rather just Omen of the Sea. I mean, to be fair, Neoform was playable before the London Mulligan. Oh, lordy. We get a couple of castle activations here. Sure. I just think that takes astonishingly bad. I think the people that want to blame the London Mulligan for issues that exist in Magic are just old people who want to yell at the clouds who hate change. That's my opinion on people who want to blame the London Mulligan for things. London Mulligan doesn't create problems, it just shows you problems that already exist and makes them happen more often. Saying the London Mulligan is the source of the problems is like saying you're okay with the problems so long as they happen infrequently. I think I just double bottom here. I just want more counter spells. I don't think I scry or Chemister's Insight because if they expansion explosion, they draw 8 cards, which is just not good for me. Yeah, London Mulligan bad is like pretty peak okay boomer type thing. For sure. I mean, any modern system's gonna run Arena well. I think I have a command. I have a 1080 GTX and an i7. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Even remembered what the command was. They have this on 3. So they're probably planning to kill this turn. So I think I'm gonna play the Conqueror's Death. Exile this. And then this gets back my Dream Trawler in a couple of turns. Oh. Yeah, that makes sense why they didn't attack with the Brazen Borrower. Okay. Probably see Conqueror's Death, or probably see Blaststone tick to 5 now and take the Conqueror's Death off the table. For people that said they wanted the multi-Twitch, this stream in Worlds did just start, by the way. Again, they are doing limited for what should be several hours, so I'm planning to stream Constructed here until the Constructed portion of World starts, I believe. As long as we stay above 1,800 people or so. But for people that wanted to multi-Twitch. Multi-Twitch is a website where you can put multiple Twitch links in, and you can watch multiple Twitch streams in the same browser page. Is this Temur Reclamation's good matchup? This is the first time I've played against Temur Reclamation and it's felt like a real game. Usually the mid-range and aggro decks that we play, it just like doesn't feel competitive. I didn't counter this because they have 7 cards in their graveyard, so if I countered it, they just escape it again. I think I'm supposed to counter that and hope they just don't have an expansion explosion here. I am not currently planning to stream this weekend, no. Planning to be off after today till Monday. I believe this matchup is good for Temur. Temur seemed really bad against everything else that we've played, so I wouldn't be surprised if this matchup is good for it. They have Thassa's Intervention here. Sure.
Stand by and watch.
So bouncing this means they have to re-escape it. Which is gonna stress out how many cards they have remaining in their bin. Bottoms up, you love to see it. Favorite vacation destination? My basement. I'm not really big on travel. Just not. Christy and I took all expenses paid trips to the Bahamas and to Hawaii at various points over the last few years. And both times we went to those places, it was just kind of like, we're not really vacation people. Yeah, like walking around and looking at cultural stuff is neat and for a little while, but like, I think Atlantis is where we went. That sounds right. It was one of those all-inclusive places. I think when they escape Uro here, I absorb it. They only have 4 cards left in their bin, so they need to put 1 more card in their bin before they can escape this again. So, worth not talking about clocks here. They're at 22 minutes. I'm at 25 minutes. That could definitely... I mentioned earlier that could be relevant this weekend in the Worlds matchups. Would not be surprised if clock was a real consideration that came up. I think I just exile the Brazen Borrower here. And just keep my Teferi in play. Oh, 4 includes Uro. Good catch. We're looking for like a Narset here. I think I keep backup Teferi just in case they draw like a Flame Sweep. Or Storm's Wrath, whatever it's called. Well, Nassif is playing Jeskai Fires, which is a really good choice if you probably don't want to worry about clock. That deck's usually pretty aggressive and explosive. All right, just in case this isn't abundantly clear from people watching me, if you tweet an enormously bad take at me, like comparing access to healthcare, like access to car insurance, and then try and posit the argument that people don't deserve things like healthcare, you're gonna get blocked because you're an asshole. Yeah, I can't even imagine how much of a terrible person you have to be to actually type out the words you think people deserve to die. Is effectively what your message is. People don't deserve to live. Yeah, definitely chain block worthy. I'll go back and check if there's likes on that one later. You want to, I'm all for discussing the merits of how we get to the point where we pay for healthcare and get everybody covered with healthcare. But like, the idea that you think people don't deserve that, that's just thinly veiled racism in most cases. Oh, they were drawing 2 there. I just assumed they were countering this. Interesting. Okay, really kind of looking for a Narset here, huh?
Don't worry, I got this.
Veto would also be good. trying to apply the welfare queen's argument to healthcare is some impressive mental gymnastics. I assume Republicans just don't have to go to the gym because they keep their minds well exercised. Awkward. Denying healthcare isn't conservative, it's basically eugenics. Couldn't have said it better myself. How many bad cards have we scryed to the bottom? Quite a few. We've also got some good cards on the bottom. I'm gonna play this and grab the last planes out of my deck. Yeah. Don't you just go get MRIs for fun? At least these lands can turn into some extra cards with these Chemister's Insights if we get another turn. There's a chance they clean out this Teferi and then combo kill us here. They're down to 17 cards in their deck. They're through, I guess they're through 3 expansion explosions already. Well, they have to take Teferi off the table too. So like they need reclamations and they also have to take Teferi off. We also have 2 reclamations in exile and none in their bin. So they have 2 reclamations at most that they can play at the moment. Yeah, there's the Storm's Wrath. We could die here. If they go wreck, I think we lose. They have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So they have 15 mana total. So they have 30. This is game 1. My opponent currently has 18 minutes on their clock. I have 23 minutes on mine. You better believe I'm going to make them fully kill me because this match could definitely come down to time. Strong possibility this match comes down to time. I think we just pick my boy Teferi back up here, right? And bounce their Uro? Because, like, they only have 3 cards in their bin.
Right on schedule. I've got it.
We've got huge tracts of land, chat. Huge tracts of land. All right, that's what we're looking for. It's what we're looking for. All right, so they lost game 1 and spent 12 and a half minutes losing game 1. I feel like that has to bode well for us, right? Like there's no way that's not good for us. All right, how are we boarding here? Those I feel like are the easy ins, easy outs here. What are the hard cuts? I need two more trims here. No, I don't think we can get rid of Seordain while also cutting Birth. It's really important to hit our land drops. Is Banishing Light good? That's a good question. Maybe Banishing Light's not good enough because it's going to get Brazen Borrowered is a real thing that can happen to it. Probably with some amount of consistency too. Yeah, maybe, I feel like it's an all counter spells on deck. I think I'm going to trim the Banishing Lights for now and see how this goes. I don't think Whirlwind and Dispute are dead, right? Like, if you watch those games actually play out, we both frequently are tapping out pretty late into the game. And, like, post-board, they should have more counter spells in their deck, inducing more tap outs, right? It could be, I do have 4 Aether Gusts in my deck right now. It could perhaps be that that's not something I want to be doing. You can theoretically counter a bunch of Reclamation triggers, that's true. Is it too aggressive to counter a Growth Spiral here? I feel like it's not. I feel like with the second one, I just do this. Just pop it off. They're gonna bring in Niv. That's good to know. Maybe I want Banishing Lights because of Niv. I guess Aether Gust is good against Niv too, though. I just didn't play Historic, Wargy. I didn't have a second Historic deck prepped because the next deck was a build around, so we just dove into Standard. I think we're gonna add some extra Historic and do a little bit less Pioneer next week. I think I just pass here and play into Chemister's Insight. Sure. Why even ladder if they're number 4? They're probably trying to get a screenshot that says they're number 1, Bob. That's bragging rights is the only reason. There. Our opponent could almost assuredly not play another game of Magic on the ladder between now and March and finish in the top 1200. Almost assuredly. I'm gonna plus this here, because if they escape Uro, I want to be able to down tick and bounce it. Roses are red, violets are blue. I played control, counter that spell, and that one after it too. Oh, roses are red, I'm playing blue, countered that spell, and the one after it too. There you go. Rolls off the tongue pretty well. If 3 cards in their bin. Yeah, plus keeps them out of Storm's Wrath range is also true. Whoa, mama. Well then. That's a good one to be thinking about. Planes? Yikes. Their deck's a lot better when they put good cards in it, chat. Who told them to put good cards in their deck? Yeah, boarding into more threats makes sense.
That's more like it.
This is definitely something that, like, if deck lists were like heads up, like it was something like Worlds, knowing that this is here, my plays are different. Double Trawler, depending on like what these cards look like, might be able to drag us kicking and screaming across the finish line. Like, if this was just as simple as I don't cast Tef there, I hold up Absorb, we probably win this game, no questions asked. But not super familiar with how their deck is playing out post-board, so. Haven't played this matchup before. You meant a lot of teamer decks are running Nissa main, not side. All right, I'm gonna call, and you're gonna take a 10-minute break if there's not Nissa in the main deck of any of these Worlds decks. Anybody have a link to the? Actually, someone go check and link me. Is there Nissa in the main deck of any of the 4 teamer Rex at Worlds? Check. Yes, no. There's one. There's one. Perfect. You're safe, Wargy.
Harness the elements.
Two, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So they're gonna draw 7 cards here. Just Up B, thanks for the 16 months. Welcome back. I appreciate you keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. I assume this Nissa is out of the sideboard for this opponent. We saw all but like 15 cards out of their deck game 1 and didn't see it. They're gonna draw 5 cards here. Sure. This is my first time playing against main deck Nissa out of the opponent's archetype. Hey, thanks for the 6 months so far. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Cause I'm dream trawling. Do do do. I'd be very surprised if this was a main deck Nissa. We saw a significant amount of their deck game one. And did not see it. I feel like I probably don't have to play around Flame Sweep post board, so if they attack, I'm gonna block. I don't think Free Falling is on the list, but ever since I was told I can't add Kid Song, my desires to upkeep it has been diminished. That's so sad, Marty. YouTube, why you have to be so big and evil? YouTube doesn't let you put content targeted at kids potentially into playlists anymore because of legal issues surrounding the enforcement of the COPPA regulations. Are we dead? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Only 15 mana? And if they attack, I get to block one and gain some life. So I don't believe we're dead. Oh wait, did they miss lethal? Because these would have been counted twice, right? Yeah, they missed lethal, right? This would have been 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, they actually had exactly lethal. I'm gonna make them go through the motions of actually killing me this game, because this game only was so quick as it was because I punted and let them resolve Anissa. And if in a world where I don't let them resolve Anissa, this game lasts forever, just like the first one. Did they just let me untap? Why on God's green earth did they just let me untap? Or are they gonna like brazen bar over this to diddle it or something? No, we're actually doing that, huh? Yeah, we're definitely in for dealing clock damage this game. Could have a counterspell here. They're at 11 minutes and counting. First game took them over 12. This game snowballed. This game was a good example of like letting one thing past our armor makes things snowball really hard. Eventually they'll win the game with less than 60 seconds. That is how these frequently play out, isn't it? So they could have guaranteed killed us last turn while we were tapped out and they missed it. To be fair, I also missed it at first glance, but I also haven't really played their deck. That's a typo, X. Certainly a typo.
The land shall conquer you.
Some rooster damage. If your typo lasts for more than 4 hours, consult a physician. All right, I think knowing Nissa's in their deck, I definitely want all these Aether Gusts. Seeing how they boarded, I'm pretty happy with how we boarded. I just need to play around Nissa here. I have no idea, Wargy. It's not something that I've managed, so if you want to coordinate with Marty, feel free. It's something you can put together yourself. If you wanted to see if one of those services had all those songs that's on there now, you can look at the existing YouTube playlist. I think I bottomed the Conqueror's Death here, huh? Just keep my lands and my counterspells. $28K on the world stream. That's probably organic. So for people that want to watch, Magic and find out if they're likely botting, just as it's a good example. Do we want a lesson in how to check if people are likely view botting? It's actually pretty straightforward. So here is the Magic page. There's 29,000 people watching right now. On this API link, we can see that there's currently 10,658 in chat. That's a little on the low side, but it could still be organic. It's not 17,000 embeds. That's not how that math works out. For example, if you were to look up my stream, you would see right now, if I put my thing into that thing, there are currently 1,500 people watching this stream, but there's only 1,100 in chat. So it's normal to have some amount of people, oh, wrong screen. It's normal to have some amount of people watching your stream that aren't in your chat. That's to be expected. Looking like it's not going to be much of a game 3. Well then, he said before his opponent drew the third land.
I won't let you.
Okay. We have a game, as they say.
I have a plan.
I don't think that's not true, Bob. So what in chat means, so like in chat doesn't count just subs and sub only streams. What in chat means is a counting of people who are logged into Twitch while currently watching a stream. That's what the in chat metric means. All right. Yeah, we went from 900 to 500 by beating number 4. And it's basically just a bad terminology, Bob. What in chat means is like people, it actually means people logged in watching. Yeah, it counts people who are just logged into Twitch watching the channel as in chat. It's a bad jargon. And like, to be fair, it's a jargon type term that like is meant for developers and API users to see. So like, I assume they didn't expect people to like use that to predict when people are botting. Yeah, it doesn't count people that aren't logged in, which is why frequently if a stream's being embedded, they're gonna have a large number of viewers that aren't in chat because you're not logged in when you're watching a Twitch embed. Yeah, it could be Doom again here. Did I just Teferi and plus? If I Teferi and plus and they play, I'm just gonna pass. If I Teferi and plus and they play Murderous Rider, I get really sad. So I'm gonna play Omen of the Sea and then plan to Teferi bounce Omen next turn, I think. Or I could just absorb that. Looks like they are playing Doom Foretold here. Does it count people who are watching a hosted stream? I don't know that detail, Beetle. That's a pretty good draw. Alright, how about we Omen, and then we Teferi pick back up Omen? Huh? Now I can just hold up Absorb? Alright, that's the play. I don't really want to Omen in response here. Like, I had a bad card in my hand I don't mind discarding. So like I think it's fine to just like let their Doom pop off. Although I guess if I play the Omen, they sack the Doom to itself. Yeah, maybe that is better. Because they didn't have any other permanents in play, huh? Yeah, maybe the fact they didn't have other permanents in play changes the dynamic there. Because they're having major server issues, Sunshine. They've had major stability issues since their last patch. The fact that waiting in line for the secret layer thing is even a thing, and they don't just like print to meet the first initial demand is so weird to me. Major stability issues sounds like the reason I'm alone on Valentine's Day. Rough self-burn. We did beat Wreck. They stumbled and died. I think we just get trolling here. Hey, Canson's Canoptions. Thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Oglandia. If you're having a good one wherever you are. He's dead, Jim. You've killed him. How about if we just, like, stick another Dream Trawler? Fair. Fair. Burn, eat, feel the burn, Cyclops. I appreciate the support. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around.
I know my responsibility. I've done the hero thing.
Man, this card's even better when its down tick draws 2 cards. Its down tick is like draw a card, scry 2, draw another card. Just like sign me up, baby. Read. Looking for a Conqueror's Death here. We have 4 of those. Perfect. I can Conqueror's Death plus hold Absorb next turn, and Conqueror's Death eventually gets back Trawler.
Keep an open mind.
We have 7 lands at the moment. So they found a Conqueror's Death of their own, but we have an Absorb, so we got that going for us. And then hopefully this Narset finds us another counterspell next turn. Would be ideal.
I have practiced it and honed your prowess.
pass back here. All their stuff costs 2 more. I'm going to bin Shatter the Sky here. I'm going to hold on to the Glass Casket because Glass Casket can just be a random permanent for... what's it called later? Looking for another Conqueror's Death. Well, that's 2 more looks at a Conqueror's Death, I suppose. Man, Elspeth is just not one to die, chat. Just not one to die. For folks in chat talking about personalities they do or don't like, as always, not everybody's gonna like everyone else, but don't complain about other content creators in my chat, please. Remember, if someone's making content that you don't enjoy, feel free to just change the channel to other content that you do enjoy. No reason to gripe about it. So it feels like they probably feel like we're ahead, and we are a little bit at the moment, but the fact that our hand is mostly bricks is not great for us. I don't know about that, Jeff guy, right? Peak millennial is announcing your displeasure when you're upset with something. Oh, yikes. Well then. That certainly just happened. I don't even know that we're just dead here. Like, I have 3 Omens to sack to this Doom Foretold. And I think I just played this, like I said, to just have an extra thing to sacrifice to Doom here. Yeah, both players having Conqueror's Death creates some awkward play patterns. I think I want a Chemister's Insight to start. Do I sack my Teferi so they can't attack him? I think the answer to that question is yes. So I have 4, 5, 6, 7 mana right now. I'm going to put this into play tapped, because I can castle plus veto here. We could make a token, but then I'm making a token instead of scrying, which doesn't seem like a good exchange for me. I probably want to hold this veto for another copy of Dance out of the opponent at this point. How many more Conqueror's Deaths do I have? Oh, I still have 2 more Conqueror's Deaths in my deck. That's pretty good. All right, have to veto that because I won't be able to veto the Dance that comes after it. Sure.
You'll thank me later.
That's really unfortunate. So, currently playing Hearthstone, so can't redeploy this before the Doom Foretold kills my stuff.
No, I am not making this up as
I'm gonna lose my Conqueror's Death here. Oh, I could have sacked it to deny them a card draw. Yeah, good call. Yeah, I just missed that. Yeah, I just missed that. If I activate this, I still have 5. Yeah, so I want to scry first. 6, 7. I don't have enough mana to cast this and cast Conqueror's Death. Oh, yeah, I guess I do get an extra draw myself. Yeah, I don't know that that's right, because I lose the draw myself. Like, if I don't have this in my hand, I lose the draw myself, which is a big deal. I think I just do this now at this point and exile their Murderous Rider, and then they sack 2 things here. So they're gonna lose a Doom Foretold, and then I have my Omen of the Sea here. We need to Fade Dance the Mance, but I didn't have a way to play around that, so we're just like hoping they don't find it here. They've already played 1. Usually these decks play 2 to 3 copies of that card. They're through half their deck. They could very realistically have another copy coming. We could see them run back the line where they bounce my Omen and then my Conqueror's Death gets sacrificed. There's 21 cards in my deck. That's a little concerning too. We could realistically deck here. How many Trawlers am I through? 2. And this is my 3rd Conqueror's Death at this point. What's the clock damage like? They're at 23 minutes. I'm at 22 minutes. I'm actually down on clock. It's been a long game. Yes. Yes. We'll put a stop on my upkeep so that if they don't put another Teferi into play, I can flash an Omen in response to the Doom Foretold trigger. That's perfect. All right, so we're through the entirety of our deck. I think I just plus here, because this is going to get back a Dream Trawler next turn. That's really funny, Prodigy. If they need that pick me up and boost in their ego, they probably need the match win a whole lot more than I do, right? We can't kill them, right? I mean, I've got 2 castles and I've got 16 cards in my deck, so like 2 to 3 castles plus whatever else not. Looks like they drew a dance, but we drew Veto, so you know. Good luck, Godspeed. And actually, with that happening, I think I'm actually supposed to scry here because it's critical that I get back to another counter spell before they make their way back to another copy of Dance. The fact that the client leaves the cards that you know about face up is so good.
Don't worry, I got this.
That's fine. Dance. Dance is the only card we care about.
Hone your prowess.
I'm just declining here because I want to leave as many cards as possible in my deck. So I want to get back to the other Dream Trawler now. I have 3 castles. We're just going to kill them with the castles. Resolves.
There are so many mysteries to uncover. Put thoughtfulness before action.
Resolves. Actually only 1 card we care about at this point. Triple activate my castle. Your move, Yugi boy. Go. I'm currently down 3 minutes on clock. Does that matter? It doesn't, right? Yeah, I suppose if this draws Dance this turn for them, if they draw Dance next turn, they're getting Teferi. All right. Don't dance me. I guess they gotta draw. They could draw it with Teferi too.
Let's try this.
They drew Dance for the turn. Is that about to happen? Because if they didn't draw Dance, they would have down ticked Teferi, right? Oh Lord. Could be Kaya's Wrath. Could be Kaya's Wrath. Wow. I think they drew it. There's graveyard highlighting. Yeah, I think they drew it. That's unreal. I'm glad we have Shatter, I guess. I mean, I don't think we're dead, right? We get to Shatter them and then play Dream Trawler and pass. What are the odds they have a 4th Dance in their deck? I feel like it's low. They could, but I feel like it's low. You think it's high? Really? I guess if this is a matchup that you care about, having 4 makes sense. I really need to catch back up on clock. Probably have to do a little bit less commentary, so I can try not to time out. If I sent everything at their face, they'd be dead here. That's not true, right? It'd only be 5. They'd be at 1.
Want me to phase you out of time?
Okay. 17 cards in their deck, 9 in mine. I'd be pretty surprised if there's games that don't come down to the clock this weekend at Worlds.
Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
Playing Blessing is bold because it means that they cast any spells, Dream Trawler kills them. Oh god. Wow. Flippin' Teferi time, Raveler, man. We'd have won this game if it weren't for his meddling, the meddling kids. Yeah, we know they're Shatter the Sky. That's fine, right? Do we have a Shatter left? I don't know. We'll find out in a second. Maybe I should have countered the Conqueror's Death. I don't know how the timing would have lined up. I think they would have drawn the dance anyway, so I'm not really sure it matters. Oh, I'm dumb. Oh, I should have drawn the Teferi and then I could have bounced and drawn this. That's whatever. Just need to play quickly. I'm down 3 minutes now. Remember, if you're gonna tell me I'm wrong and you don't tell me why, you're gonna take a 10-minute break.
Be a bad idea.
This is game 1. I've spent almost 14 minutes. Hopefully we're not gonna lose. We'll see. We could very well lose this game because of this card.
Meditate and prepare.
Oh my god, I just clicked through it. Fuck! Just missed making a token. Should have a 1/1 that I don't. Two mystery cards, chat. I wish there was an option like Magic Online where I could like right click here and say yield until I get to here. Sorry, Crunchy.
Here goes nothing.
Seven cards left in their deck. 6 cards left in ours.
I have just the trick for this.
Kaya's Wrath, yep. No, left shift enter passes the turn, Gengar. It skips all stops. Really surprised they didn't Kaya's Wrath my tokens there. Because they're bringing this back. Oh, I don't think I can win through this life linking thing, right? It still stops or you said stops manually, though. I don't know if that's true. And I'm not really interested in finding out. Alright, let's try it.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
Oh, look at that. It did stop at their stop. It's good to know. Oh my gosh! This draws them a card, which means they deck before us. Did we just deck them with Shatter the Sky? Did we just deck them with Shatter the Sky? Woo-hoo! Woo! Doggy! Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Well, I was just pot committed to that game. There's a good chance I should have conceded that game before the point we got to, but deck them with Shatter the Sky is that's pretty chef's kiss up there. That was pretty delicious. All right, is it sacrilege to cut the shatters after that game we just played? Is it sacrilege to cut the shatters after that game we just played? I feel like it's not. I'm boarding in a bunch of counterspells. It's like being a trader. We're also down on clock. All right, I'm not going to be doing a ton of commentary this game. Apologies, we're not going to be super informative. I'm down on clock. I need to catch up. You just play a sneaky 61 because the game down to decade. Teferi doesn't care about counters. Yeah, you just counter the Teferi, or you Elspeth conquers Death Him. $16 minutes to 15 minutes. Let's go. Yeah, if they would have put a loyalty counter on their creature, they'd have probably won that game. Funny enough to say. I think I messed up. I think because I drew this, I should have just passed. I think because I drew Omen, I'm supposed to pass the turn there. They're going to play their own Teferi. I'm just going to be very sad. Perfect. Deal. In. Land. Land. Yeah, I'd have had a better chance of hitting my fourth land on time if I'd have waited there too. just bottom that. Come on, just hit a land drop here. Do I want a Chemister's instead end of turn? I feel like I don't. All the cards in my hand are pretty good at the moment. So probably just Omen of the Sea unless they give us something we need to counterspell here. Our hand's pretty good. Hopefully this tank gives us some of the time back that we need to catch up. Veto makes sense. We're gonna Mystic Dispute us, we're gonna be sad. Wow, no dispute's insane. It's really good for us. Perfect, go.
You'll thank me for trusting me. I have a plan.
Maybe that was wrong. Maybe I should have just played this and plussed it. It's very possible. Looking for lands. Perfect. I think with Conqueror's Death in hand, I'm just supposed to jam this here. We're insulated against Doom. We can Conqueror's Death, the Teferi. They have to have like Teferi plus Counterspell plus Sweeper to punish us here. And they don't really, they do technically have enough mana to do all those things. They have like Teferi, Kaya's Wrath, Veto. But if they don't have Teferi's Kaya's Wrath, Veto, land is like their 4 cards. We're like super far ahead now. Sure, he's dead. And like, now their thing's not in play anymore, so like, I just get to deploy my Narset and start amassing card advantage that way.
My prowess is on keep an open mind.
We'll hopefully scry into another Trawler that we can jam. This is a little aggressive, but my hand's pretty full, so I think I just want to do it. I'm gonna let this happen because it gives me a window to play my Elspeth Conqueror's Death on something that's meaningful. Yeah, this game should be pretty done at this point. Feels like garbage time.
If you wish to hone your prowess,
In general, you should not be fighting to protect your threats. These types of control mirrors are all about identifying which of their cards win them the game, and then ensuring that their cards that win them the game never resolve. Especially with 4 Conqueror's Death in my deck to bring back my Dream Trawler, it's frequently wrong to fight over this card. I think you'll lose a lot more games than you win trying to stop and fight over that card. Did we lose a match? That's weird. We played a tiered 1 deck and won all the matches that we played. I don't know. This deck seems great. This build seems great. That set was just incredible. Had some slops on both players' parts in the first game. We ended up coming out ahead. Yeah, looking forward to watching really good players play some Blue-White Control at the Mythic Championship this weekend. Interesting to see where they go. N-Pack, thanks for the 13 months. Welcome back. This is one of my favorite cards out of Theros. And honestly, it's just refreshing to like know that set in and set out that my card evaluation. Yeah, definitely Crunchy. Grab me your latest list. We're gonna switch to that now. It's just on point so that my card evaluation is so good still as I do this as my job. That was 2 hours actually, Bob, and I agree, it was great. I tweeted very early after Theros was released that I thought Birth and Conqueror's Death were very good white enchantments when white's been a pretty weak color for a long time, and seeing them show up as 4-ofs in this archetype and other decks too has just been incredibly validating. Like, just really enjoy jamming them. They're sweet cards. They do have a lot of flexibility in them. Good at what they do. All right, at any rate, we're going to take a much needed short break. We are going to come back. We're going to play some green-white henge as a crunchy creation. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere.